I really truly appreciate the intro from Bootsy Collins telling them that it's okay to beg in the rain, because
Mm.
I want to get on my soapbox for a second. I really miss like begging ass R&B music. People don't beg in R&B anymore. Like, I need the ugly singing faces. I need, shirt open, crying on your knees in the middle of a crosswalk in the rain for no reason. Like I really that's the vibes that I need on my R&B sometimes. So,
Yeah, bro.
less sip and lean, more baby please. That's what I need to.
Let me put you on game.
Let's talk about Silk Sonic.
Ooh, baby.
Silk Sonic, the R&B supergroup formed by none other than Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. They have released a couple singles that have set the world on fire, and they finally have dropped the culmination of all of that anticipation with An Evening with Silk Sonic, their new record. So with all of that said, how are you feeling about the new project, the new album from our guys Silk Sonic?
Yo, so this album had really high expectations to live up to for me, and it had a lot to live up to. And my experience going through this album showed me that an artist is readily capable of living up to expectations and exceeding my expectations and the vision that you have for them. They're very capable of that. And so I realized it is fine to have high expectations for people. And when they deliver, it's like, thank you. Thank you for being as great as you are. And you shouldn't have to settle for mediocrity. And Silk Sonic is the epitome of not settling for less and going for it all, man. My God, what a project.
that is quite a, that's quite a spiel there, my friend. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I enjoyed it as well. I think they're not necessarily reinventing the wheel. I think that part of the appeal of Silk Sonic is that they're doing a sound that we all, at least especially like within the Black community, we're all pretty familiar with. We grew up like, cleaning toilets to that. So it has a very distinct sense of nostalgia for all of us. But yeah, I do think that it's a really enjoyable, fun project. I don't think it's perfect. I think that there are a few missteps for me personally, but I do think that I enjoy the project overall. I think it's a really fun, groovy project that has a lot of uses for different things, depending on what you want to do or not do to it. But I really enjoy the project overall. But let's get into the track listing. They open things up with a Silk Sonic intro. I think it does a really great job of setting the tone for the album. And then, of course, that goes into Leave the Door Open. We've had a long, extended discussion on that song already. Go ahead and check that out on one of our earlier videos. But yeah, I still love that track. I love how layered and intricate the production is on it. I think it sounds great. It sounds expensive. It sounds like they put like a great deal of time, money, and effort into it because of how intricate and layered it is.
Yeah.
Anderson .Paak is super charismatic on that song, as he is over the course of the entire album. His drumming on the track is incredible. It's great. It really works well. And I think Bruno shows why he's one of the best vocalists in pop music right now. He kills the chorus, kills all of the verses. His falsetto is nothing short of heavenly. And then he actually, he switches from that soft, cuddly falsetto in that portion of the song, and then he shows his power, on the bridge. So it's a very really cool mix of different vibes and different speeds and sounds. So it's a really great song. How are you feeling about that little intro, that first introduction to the album?
I mean, it was a really elegant and perfect way to introduce this group, along with the way that Bootsy Collins is used throughout the project. They really gave you a taste of a very like subtle hint and taste of what you're going to experience throughout the whole project in this intro, in the Silk Sonic intro, from the live instrumentation to the harmonies and the groove funk era inspiration that they're using. And then Leave the Door Open. The drums really set the stage. Shout out to Anderson .Paak on the drums throughout this entire project. He did it all and was just masterful in creating the perfect tempo for a lot of these songs, along with some excellent solos. And that, along with the piano melodies, keyboard melodies, whatever, and the bass guitar just leaves you into Leave the Door Open. And it somehow leads you to, it's like one moment you're listening to the song and the next moment you're in bed with your significant other and you're like, man, how did I get here? It's it's so like
Hypnotic.
it's yes. And Bruno Mars singing, like, again, like you mentioned, pre-chorus and chorus is simply angelic. They make it so that this song is impossible to hear too many times. Like you said, layered, rich, expensive. And he's one of the top 10 vocalists in our generation, I feel. Bruno, I don't know how many people can really bang with him on a track, but Anderson really holds his own as a creative counterpart to him. So leading into Fly As Me is when this album really starts to just be so much more fun. And I'm glad that they didn't push this as a single and that you got to experience this within the context of the album. It was so awesome. Anderson is an underrated like lyricist, and I thought that this song really demonstrated his creative flow and cadences that he can just throw out there on a whim. Even though he is more funk and groove and he does his singing, he can rap too. The bass guitar was in the gutter and just went deep, like like I felt like I was in a black exploitation movie and that was just the theme song, and I had a mink coat on just walking down like, yeah man, nobody can touch me right now, you know what I mean? Like this is my jam. How about you? How do you feel about Fly As Me?
I like it a lot. I like them leaning more into funk as opposed to like soul. It's a very Anderson Paak centric track. Bruno's like barely on it, but I really enjoyed it. I think, of course, he has one of the most unique voices in music with that very distinct rasp. But it's a really great example of him showing off his charisma. I really like the track. He has some cool little lines on there. He said, "Boo you up like the Apollo." So it was super fun. Yeah, and then that kind of moves into After Last Night. I think that's one of my favorite tracks on here. A very Bootsy Collins influenced instrumental with the warped, I believe that's a guitar. Super nice to have him, like you said, on the intro and throughout the album. He really sets the stage for what you're going to get into, and he has like a lot of charisma himself. Like he has like one of the most like everything he says is just really funny to me. Do it to me. But yeah, and their harmonies on the song are between him and Anderson Paak are heavenly. A1.
Yeah.
So, of course, yeah, I love the horns on there. They really add some pop and some drama to the track. And that goes into Smoking Out the Window. The track is hilarious. It's really cool to see. Like that's something we expect from Anderson Paak, I think, but it's not something you expect from Bruno Mars, especially the stuff about the Chuck E. Cheese stuff. Like I think you've heard it a little bit on like 24 Karat Magic, but the pre-chorus and the chorus is not something for me personally that I expect from Bruno. But I think it was really fun to see him step into that side of himself. How are you feeling about that section?
Yeah, man. After Last Night, the synth organ piano there, as well as the saxophone and the guitar, man. That song again, one of my favorites. And they put on a masterclass of vocal harmonization on that song. But Smoking Out the Window, this is the first song that they actually wrote together. Funny enough.
Really?
Yeah. They, I was reading about that, and yeah, Bruno definitely made me chuckle. Oh no. Oh man, like it was just hilarious to me. And Bruno Mars is low-key ratchet, and I love that energy that he brings to this project, him and Anderson, where they are like really soulful and groovy, but they have fun too. And I really appreciated that element of this project. And this is another example of that. And just the lyrics were really entertaining, great harmonies, and on the chorus and the bridge that really added emphasis to the song. And I just loved how they went in with the instrumentation during the choruses and the bridges. Just so many intricate layers with the guitar, with the drums, with the different like way the song breathes in and out. It's like you really feel an ebb and flow throughout the entire project through a lot of the songs, where they made sure to highlight every instrument that was being used. And this is another great example of it. Then moving on to Put On a Smile, that intro of Bootsy telling them to say how they feel, I thought was the perfect way to bring in the song that was kind of an emotional ballad. They were being vulnerable. the verses that were really like cleanly led by the drum and electric guitar brought great focus to the lyrics, you know, that was centered around a bad relationship, bad breakup, and its lasting effects. And you know, the fact that, hey, you know, we feel too as guys, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just love the way the synths um worked with the guitar, I mean with the piano in the chorus, and the way it changed the mood of the song a few times. It was like a lot of highs and lows. What do you think about Put On a Smile?
I think it's a nice change of pace on the album. I think it's a more like darker track and more a little bit more moody in terms of the high vibe that you got and the happiness and the nostalgia. Uh, of course, they have really great harmonies on the chorus again. Uh, the subject matter to me is pretty reminiscent of Tracks of My Tears by Smokey Robinson.
Mm,
Like just a character essentially in the story, basically suffering on the inside, but trying to appear that they're okay on the outside, you know? I
yeah.
love how the track closes. Excellent drummer from Paak again. Lovely vocals from Bruno. And like you said, I appreciate I really truly appreciate the intro from Bootsy Collins telling them that it's okay to beg in the rain, because
Mm.
I want to get on my soapbox for a second. I really miss like begging ass R&B music. People don't beg in R&B anymore. like, like everyone is always like too cool for school, man. Like I need more begging R&B. It makes for the most like dramatic and like there's just the best performances, like especially vocally, like when you really just like baby please, like you really like you really get into it, you know, like R&B is it's fine, the coolness of it, but it's a little too much cool and vibe for me sometimes. Like
Yeah.
I need the ugly singing faces. I need you know, shirt open, crying on your knees in the middle of a crosswalk in the rain for no reason. Like I really that's the vibes that I need on my R&B sometimes. So you
Yeah,
know,
bro.
less sip and lean, more baby please. You know, that's what I need in my life. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
great track, great throwback.
When Bruno said he was dying, I was just blown away. I'm like, oh God, yes. And you know, I love how Anderson Paak during some of the interviews and promo for the album was saying that making an album with Bruno is like hitting the easy button. Like it was just, you just press play and he just goes. And
Yeah,
I guess you can ask him to do anything on a song. He's like, yeah, I got you.
yeah.
And then and so moving into 777, again, this is that ratchetness that I love that they had fun with.
Mm.
It's the new Vegas casino anthem. And when they say 777, let's go, with someone yelling in the background, I'm like, yeah, like, you know, shooting dice on the table, rolling craps, everything goes. It was ballerific. It was fun. And it also managed to be like, they still managed to close with awesome vocals, and the production was really led by Bruno, who just did a great job of just, I thought, having a lot of fun on this track. How about you?
Hate to kill the vibe here, but it's probably like my least favorite song on the album. I think it's cool. It's okay. It's not terrible by any means, but I don't know. It just doesn't hit for me right now. It might hit for me later on. You know, I gave the album like, you know, 4 or 5 run throughs, but you know, maybe it'll hit me on run through 8. But at this time, like I just feel like it's okay. It's missing something for me. I don't know. I
Mhm.
like the instrumental, but I don't know, vocally it just doesn't come together. Skate is a track that we reviewed on also one of our previous videos. It's a track that I don't necessarily think as highly of as I did when I first heard it. I don't
Mm.
know why it just doesn't hit for me. I find myself like not necessarily going back to it when it's time to listen to, you know, like 2 or 3 songs off of the album. I do like as a track. I think I like the disco influence, but it doesn't hit the same highs for me right now as some of the other tracks on the album. Still a solid song, but not quite going where I needed it to go. Um, Blast Off, I like this one significantly more than 777 and Skate. I love the
Mm.
guitar on the bridge and how the track kind of builds towards the latter half, but I thought it was a good close to the album. But the album, the highs of the first couple tracks don't quite get there with the last few for me. But
Mm.
overall, still a really good project that I enjoyed.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, the back end, I thought Skate was still a lot of fun for me. I was able to appreciate different layers of the song this time around that I didn't really get to hear before. I love the funky electric and bass guitars, the Congo drums in the beginning that really set the stage. And just to hear it with fresh ears really just added more enjoyment for the song for me. Especially what they were doing during the bridges and the choruses. particularly on the chords of the guitar, were just outstanding again. And Blast Off, a very psychedelic and trippy song to listen to, that really gave me like an abundance of euphoria, and I thought was the perfect way to close this album and this project. They're like setting a mood for a really fun trip, and the singing is so good. The guitar solo at the bridge was phenomenal on this song, and the atmosphere of that last leg of the song, between like the minute like 3 and minute 4, where they were just repeating Blast Off, that was just led by the guitar and the vocals of Bruno Mars, I just thought was awesome. And just Bootsy Collins, bringing it in and closing the book on the project was a lot of fun. And I just thought front to back, I enjoyed it a lot, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot as well. Well, what are your 3 favorite tracks?
Oh, we're doing 3? Okay, yeah. I
Shorter
mean,
album,
yes.
gotta cut it.
This album is way too short. You need to cut it. And so, I mean, for me, I gotta go with the first 3 3 out of the first 4 tracks. Leave the Door Open, Fly As Me, and After Last Night. That's my stamp of approval right there. Those are gonna be on heavy repeat.
I'll go I want to say Put On a Smile. If we had 4, I go Put On a Smile, but I'll cut that one for now, and I'll go Smoking Out the Window, After Last Night, and Leave the Door Open. So if you had to recommend this album to our listeners, if they haven't heard Silk Sonic, on what level would you recommend it?
If you couldn't tell by my review so far, this album to me is about as good as they come. You should already know I'm about to give this a must listen. They really did their thing, yeah. and they blew me away multiple times. This was everything I was hoping for and more. And I'm just so happy that they finally put this project out and gave us what we wanted to hear. It's just a supersonic dream.
I'm sorry, bro. I hate to rain on the parade. I'm gonna go highly recommend. So it just misses the incredible award of getting the Put You On Game stamp of approval, but I'm gonna have to go highly recommend. I do think that there's a couple of tracks on here that are not my favorite, but yeah, I think it's still a really enjoyable project overall. It may grow on me, I don't know, but as of the first week of listening, which is an incredibly difficult way to review music, but we do it anyway because YouTube. it's a really good project for me, but not quite great. But that's where I stand. Let us know in the comments, or let us know through an email what you think about the new offering from Silk Sonic and whether you enjoyed it as much as we did.